So there's two things you need to run the 3.9 on FE, and that is wire and loom, ECU, 2 relays, 2 black earths, and a few positives. One of the main things is this white block here. You can do it without, but trying to trace the wires is a pain in the ass. To have it just makes it easier. So big brown wire, which is this one. Look on the block, which is that brown wire there, which is your main battery feed. Coming off that is a plain white wire coming under, which goes onto a red and white wire. That there is your positive from the ignition. This little white and purple wire is your positive feed to the fuel pump. The little light is simulating a fuel pump. So get these connected. Technically you should run. So coming from that, then you want to go through 2 relay blocks. 1, 2. This one is the main ECU block, and this one is the fuel pump block. Don't necessarily need this one, however, to make it all run sweet, I'll just keep it in. I normally do. Coming through that, then the wiring comes up through, goes into 2 banks of injectors, left and a right. Then coming off is a black and white wire, which runs to the negative side there of the coil. From the negative side of the coil, which is this blue wire, runs all the way to the negative side, which is that terminal of the coil. Positive side of the coil, which is this back one, runs to positive side of the coil. Then from the coil, you want a positive straight to the battery, which is this cable here. Then a negative there, and that should basically run it. You've got 2 negatives, which are the main ECU negatives, which are the ones you want. And this one here is just a negative for the fuel pump. So as I turn the distributor, you'll see you will get a spark, and that will then tell the ECU to then spark for the injectors. My ECU has packed in, and so I can't show you the simulated fuel pump without bypassing the ECU, and that is what this little blue and red wire here does. Just about see the red bit there. So as soon as I bypass that, that will then prime the fuel pump, if I can connect it. So that's the fuel pump primed. It would automatically go off. The ECU will make you do that, and then as soon as you crank the engine, fuel pump will turn on, injectors will turn on, and it should fire up. Let us know if any other problems. Everything else is that one there, which goes to the airflow meter. These 2 cables here go to somewhere else. I've never connected them, never had a problem, and I think that's it. The only one thing I will suggest is this wire here. Make sure you put a fuse between it, at least a 20 amp fuse, I think, just because that's the main feed to the ECUs. I didn't do this on my one, and now 5mm ECU, so that one there gets very hot. But however, so I've gone into carburetors now, just so it's a little bit easier. But any other questions, just let us know. Cheers.